Here at Liberty Baseball Stadium in Lynchburg, Virginia, my name is Nick Pierce alongside Alan York, and the Flames have already left. They are not here. They are on their way to Boiling Springs, North Carolina, where they will open the Big South Conference Championships on Tuesday night, taking on the High Point Panthers. The Flames are the 4 seed this year, High Point the 5 seed. These two clubs just met 3 times here on this field this past weekend, Liberty salvaging 1 win in that series with an 8-7 come-from-behind win on Saturday. And that said, Alan, heading into the tournament, these two teams have just met. Does that favor one or the other?
I don't think so. You like the familiarity in both of these teams, just seeing each other, but again, it's not an advantage, I don't think, to either one of them because they just saw each other. So we'll see what happens if they roll the balls out late on Tuesday. That's the key. You either want to play maybe that middle game, but also if you get into this tournament, you don't want to play at 9:30 a.m. like Coastal's having to do. So it doesn't matter having to wait. You're used to playing night games anyway. So I think the advantage there is probably both teams. So, again, seeing each other now for the first time, just saw each other 72 hours ago, I don't think it's an advantage to either team.
Yeah, and I think maybe if anything, it might be a little bit more of an advantage to the hitters because they get to see the pitchers again that they just saw. But nonetheless, talk about the hitters here. And the Flames have been led over the last 5 ball games by a couple of guys that you would expect. Alex Close and Ashton Parrott. Parrott hitting .316 over his last 5 ball games. We just saw what both of those guys did on Saturday. Close with a 2-run homer late in the ball game. Parrott with a solo shot to give the Flames the lead. They're going to be leaning on these guys this week.
Yeah, they've got guys on this team that won a title 2 years ago. So it's not like they're going into it with eyes wide open like they've never been there before. But again, as Jim Toman said also, I want my seniors to be leading this team, and that's what they need to be doing. They've been here 4 years, and they know what it's like to go through the grind of a tournament. And hopefully this time they can get off on good footing on Tuesday with a win and not have to climb out through the loser's bracket.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And talking about that and the importance of getting these first 2 ball games, had a chance to ask Coach Jim Toman about that after the game here on Saturday.
Yeah, well, when you have double elimination and it's a bracket like it is, sort of in the College World Series, 4 on one side and 4 on the other, it's huge pitching depth-wise to win them first 2 because you get the day off, and then the other team has to beat you twice. That being said, 2 years ago we lost the first game and did it the hard way. I don't know how. Now that's hard to do. I don't know how that happened. That was a God thing for sure for us. But obviously the easy thing to do is win the first 2.
I feel confident playing these guys. I mean, I feel like they're more on the hot side right now, but I feel like we're about to. You got to beat everyone in the tournament anyway. You got to win 5 games. You got to go through them to win it. So why not go through them first?
I mean, you're not only talking about guys that have been here on the offensive side, but you're talking about 2 starters, 2 out of the 3 starters, and 2 main relievers that have all seen it happen. So it's a lot about, like he said, getting hot and then who's got the mojo at the right time. So hopefully we can put it together.
Another thing that Coach Toman pointed out after the game on Saturday was that his starting pitcher was not yet set for Tuesday. It's a lot of folks would assume it would be Jared Lyons, but that may not be the case, and there's a couple of different schools of thought to that. With, you go in and it's double elimination, first of all, so you're not necessarily going to go down without throwing your best guy if you lose that Tuesday game, but then also Matt Pennington's got the hot hand.
Yep.
It's going to be kind of interesting to see which way Coach Toman goes here.
In a lot of these situations, Nick, you will see your best pitcher maybe saved for that second game if you do lose the first one. And Matt Pennington, you would think logically, would be the next guy up. He's used to the last 3 weeks pitching on that Tuesday, Wednesday. So that may be who you see on Tuesday. And again, if you do go with Lyons, again, he's pitching on short rest, which he did last week as well. Remember, the series was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and not your typical Friday through Sunday. So will they throw Jared out there right now on Tuesday? I don't know. I'm not a betting man, but I would think they might save him for day 2 and then see what Matt could do on Tuesday. But again, that's to be determined.
Yeah, Lyons threw 90 pitches here on Thursday night. Matt Pennington would have about a week's rest, actually 1 week to the day's rest, 6 2/3 innings against Maryland in a win last Tuesday at College Park. So options are on the table. Then you look at High Point. John McGillicuddy had been their Friday starter. You would figure he'd be the guy for this game. Obviously, he left that Thursday game with an apparent injury. Doesn't appear to be anything too serious, though, we're told. So McGillicuddy, actually, maybe that benefits him, having come out of that game as soon as he did.
Yeah, you never know what the other team is thinking. Craig Cozart's been around the block a couple of years now with his job here at High Point and a great job he did at Central Florida. So will we see McGillicuddy? I don't know, but the combination they had on that Friday with Stubbs and Lowry, they were dynamite. I don't think we'll see them on Tuesday, but High Point does know, hey, we shut the Flames out on that one ball game, and hopefully they won't be able to do it again, but they know they can.
Looking at potential future opponents for Liberty here in the tournament, whoever wins this game will get the winner of the Radford and Longwood game, and that game actually precedes the Liberty High Point game on Tuesday. So Radford and Longwood will meet at 4:30 on Tuesday. Liberty and High Point will follow that ball game. So the Flames will know who their opponent's going to be very quickly at the end of their game. That said, with Radford potentially looming next, how big are these first two games here, trying to get over the hump and get that off day Thursday?
Well, obviously Tuesday is the most important. You can't really think about Wednesday until you finish up on Tuesday. But the good thing is they've seen both of these teams. As a competitor, you want to play the best that's out there, and that's Radford right now, not only in the Big South but nationally with the job that Joe Rakuya has done. And both of them in-state rivalries. Add to the magnitude that it's the conference championship, that's going to put a little bit more spice into the matchups regardless of who you play, and they've beaten both teams. And so that's a good thing this year, although it was only once against Radford, but you can still beat them. Remember that great game that Jared pitched against them on that Sunday afternoon, and then you took 2 or 3 from Longwood. So, again, a lot of ingredients in the recipe, what should be a first couple of great days down at Gardner-Webb.
And let's not forget this as well. It seems like over the last couple of years, the Flames' success in the conference tournament has been keyed by the long ball, and it's come late in some ball games and also at Radford's expense. I mean, we can't forget a couple of years ago in this very field, Justin Sizemore with that late home run to give Liberty the lead, and then just last year, Ryan Sees with a late home run in that game as well. So that said, who do you think an X factor could be here for the Flames this week as far as maybe coming up with some late heroics like that or a performance on the mound that we're not expecting?
Wow, that's a great question. First person I'm going to think about maybe could be a Will Shepard in right field. Will is a guy that when it comes to pressure, 2 outs, 2 strikes, he's the guy I want in the box. Now, he is struggling a little bit coming into this ball game. It could even be a Becker Sankey, who did not have a great series at the plate. We all know that. So those 2 guys, Becker Sankey, Will Shepard, could be 2 guys that I'm kind of looking at to be kind of forces maybe early on in this tournament. And on the mound, we talked about Matt Pennington. He's a guy that really nobody's talking about. Remember a couple of years ago, Blake Fulgham did the same thing here on this field as Liberty beat Campbell for the conference championship. And to get to that, they had to beat Coastal twice, which they hadn't done in a couple of years. So Matt Pennington on the mound for me, Will Shepard, Becker Sankey in the box potentially could be those X factors for me.
We shall see. It's Liberty and High Point coming up on Tuesday, opening round of the Big South Championships. We'll have live radio coverage for you all week long as well for each Flames game. The Liberty Flames Sports Network, affiliated with the Virginia Talk Radio Network as well, ESPN Radio, and WIQO News Talk 100.9 in Lynchburg. Check libertyflames.com to see which station we're on each day for the tournament coming up this week. For Alan York, my name is Nick Pierce in Lynchburg for the Liberty Flames Sports Network.